bad weather. It is a unavoidable risk of playing tournaments. And I got to experience one of the worst weather events you can play in disc golf, and that is rain. The Oklahoma Open was just rain. Our first round didn't even get played because of the rain. Nothing I can do about that. So instead of worrying about it, you have to adapt with equipment or your mindset or whatever. This is going to be part 1 of my bad weather series. So like in rain, you're gonna have mud, wet grass, wet tee pads, wet baskets, which affect more than you would think. Depending on the type of ground that you're playing in, that mud could get stuck in your shoes, like on the bottom of your shoes, and build up so that it's just impossible to find any sort of grip on the ground. The opening clip of this video is going to be a great example of that, because I was going up to the tee to throw my shot, and it was this clay type mud, so it was sticky and it just built up in my shoes. Thankfully, I was able to stop myself before just sliding and throwing my shot into the middle of a pond. If you are able to if you can find a stick or something to just dig the mud out of the bottom of your shoes, that's great. With that type of mud material, also, no matter what you're wearing, it's going to be hard to find traction. Thankfully, though, my shoes from Uncle Sam's Safari Outfitters were great in wet grass. I was able to find great traction in wet grass and the wet tee pads. The only time I slipped was in that opening clip that I put in, because my shoes were caked with mud. So if you're finding that the terrain that you're playing in has this clay sticky mud, find a stick or a rock or something to get the mud off of your shoes with. That's going to be the biggest problem in muddy conditions. But at the Oklahoma Open, it was the worst. It was bad, really bad weather. A tournament I played in July, Hell on the Border, in Fort Smith, Arkansas. It was as far away from wet weather as you could get. It was 100 degrees all 3 of the days. It was so humid. There was little to no shade at one of the courses we played. And the biggest piece of advice for hot weather that I can give is stay hydrated. And if you have a cooling towel, the cooling towel was so good in that tournament, because just the simple fact of having that around my neck to literally just cool down my body was invaluable. Cooling towels are, I would 100% recommend a cooling towel for hot tournament rounds, or just hot rounds in general. The wet grass stuff is what happened at the Oklahoma Open and at the Persimmon Ridge Retreat. I did not slip in the wet grass at Persimmon Ridge or at the Oklahoma Open, because of the fantastic shoes that I got from Uncle Sam's Safari Outfitters. They're great traction, comfortable, light. I have a whole video on these shoes, so go watch that. And go check out Uncle Sam's Safari Outfitters too, because they have great shoes and great outdoor equipment. So making sure you have the right equipment for hot weather, rainy weather, bad mud, or any kind of slick materials is very, very important to find and have. The only time that I slipped at the Persimmon Ridge Retreat was when I didn't plant and the throw was already bad. If you ever played Persimmon Ridge, it's the first par 5, it's 1,000 plus feet. It's really far. And I throw my drive good, like 470, decent drive, looking at a long way to the basket. And I'm like, okay, I just need to hit my next shot really flat and just make sure I get it under this branch and pushing. And I go to throw my shot, and I am just unreasonably worried about a singular branch. And I get way too careful with my feet and just go to throw and pull through before my foot is fully planted on the ground, leading my shot to be a lot higher and slower than it needed to be. Thankfully, it got a relatively decent kick and just went down and right. So I was able to just throw up to the basket and get my birdie because it's a par 5. The first day at Persimmon Ridge was the only bad weather. And it was just raining for 10 holes and then a little cold. Day 2, beautiful weather. Couldn't have asked for much better weather. It wasn't really windy. It was like 75 degrees and no drop of water on the ground. So yeah, just the biggest thing to look out for in a tournament round is the conditions and what you can do to prepare for those conditions. So, like I've said already, like a cooling towel when it's hot, maybe something that you can bring with you to clear mud out of your shoes, and shoes that you are confident will maintain good traction while you're on the course. So, yeah, check out Uncle Sam's Safari Outfitters because they have great equipment for just being outside in general, which disc golf is outside, and you can go get good equipment for disc golf. You can get shoes. You can get really nice shoes at Uncle Sam's Safari Outfitters.
Great. Good luck. Yep. Great shot. End it. Let's go.